Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's Michaela. We are at day 18 of our vlog series, which is absolutely crazy. It is nighttime. I have a caffeine-free tea. Okay, my first clip cut me out, but welcome to episode 18. I have tea with me. It's caffeine-free tea from Trader Joe's. It's my absolute favorite one. It's like a peppermint bark one that's available during the holidays. It's absolutely divine and my favorite thing in the entire world. But today for our video, we're just gonna have a sit down and tea chat about all of my different rituals. So I was on a client Q&A call today and I got a question about tapping, which you guys obviously have seen a lot in these vlogs that I do tapping very, very often, almost every single day. It's an amazing way to move energy through your body. And she asked me, basically one of my clients asked me how tapping is going to supplement her practice on top of journaling and meditating. And it made me realize that all the rituals that I do each serve a different purpose, and some of them the purpose overlaps, so they're not things I always do all of the time. I might pick one per day or something like that, but I thought it'd be really interesting to break down the different rituals I do and why I do them. Like, what's the purpose behind them? What do they do for me? And the first one I want to talk about, and if I look down, it's because I have them all written down on my phone, is breathing. Okay, so I take there's two forms of this that I want to talk about. There's deep breaths and then there's breath work. Okay, so the first one is deep breaths. When I'm in a really high stress situation, I like to take a step back and put my hand on my heart and just take deep breaths, like a good type deep breath. That is so healing, because when you're really high stress, when you're in a really high stress environment or you're really anxious, your heart's usually beating really fast, you're really in your head, things are racing around you, you don't know what's going on, you're like, there's so much happening. When you calm your breath, you calm everything going on. And one of my favorite quotes is, fear is excitement without breath. So when you are anxious or you're afraid of something, it's just like, breathe. Okay, the fear thing isn't always true, but a lot of times when we're anxious, when we're really worked up about something and we're freaking out and we're super nervous, it's because we're just not breathing deeply. So when it comes to breathing, just deep breaths, that's when I'm in a high stress situation that really calms that. Now, breath work is a completely different thing. Breath work, maybe we'll do a story time about this, but I've done a form of breath work in basically like a breathwork circle where there's a facilitator who leads the entire event, and it's a form of breathing that's all through your mouth, and basically you over oxygenate your entire body and you end up hallucinating, but it's all just oxygen. There's no drugs, there's nothing involved. It's literally just breathing. And what you do is you lay down and you breathe a belly breath, a chest breath, and an exhale. So it's like that's how it goes, and you do it for about 25 minutes. It's really, really intense. If you guys are going to do breath work, I would highly recommend having a facilitator, because it just makes the whole experience. Gwen, what's her Instagram at? I'll have to look at, it's Gwen Coach or Coach Gwen. I will leave her Instagram below. She's my breathwork facilitator. She's amazing. There are different YouTube videos for this, but I do breath work as tapping into kind of like my next level of spirituality. I've learned a lot about my past life, a lot about my purpose on this earth, a lot about reincarnation through breathwork and the hallucinations and just the downloads I've gotten through it. So that is kind of its own, the purpose of that, it's like a spiritual evolution and also a release, because when you're doing the breathing, you actually end up like crying. Sometimes you laugh, you feel all these emotions because there's so much air in your body, everything is moving through you. So it's a really, really good form of evolution, and also kind of like a death of emotions, a death of the old version of yourself. The next rituals I want to talk about with you guys are probably my 4 most common that I do on a daily basis. And the very first one is journaling. I'm an OG journaler. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you already know I'm in my journal every day. If you listen to my podcast, I preach about journal prompts and different things. And the reason why I'm so into journaling is because it's such a mind dump. We get stressed out very easily because our brain can only hold so much information at once. And then when we have too much information, we get freaked out and there's a lot going on in our head. Now, if you write that down in a journal, in a notebook, on writing things down on something, instead of your brain remembering all of that information, it remembers, oh, that one thing I needed to remember about this is in that journal. That's just one thing, instead of a million different details, because you can write all of the details down. So it really clears your brain. It opens up space. So I use it for that, for mind dumping. I have a very overactive brain. I think a lot. I'm really creative. There's always a million things going on. And I also use it as a form of looking at my limiting beliefs, a form of spiritual growth at the same time. That'll kind of be a theme throughout all of this, is I use all of these tools for spiritual growth and just self-transformation. With journaling, I can really go through my childhood, my limiting beliefs, the stories I'm telling myself, and literally rewrite them in my mind. So journaling is super powerful practice for mind dumping and restructuring the brain. Okay, so that's one that I do every single day. And then tapping, I want to talk about, of course, since I've already mentioned it. Tapping is a form of energy movement for me. It moves, this energy shifting is what I wrote down in my little notes section on my phone. It's energy movement. So when you're tapping on the energy meridians in your body. So this is where energy is transmitted through you, to and from you, essentially. And when you're doing this and you're speaking things out loud, you're moving that energy around. Gala Darling, whose tapping videos I love, always says that tapping is really similar to a massage. You're clearing things out. You're opening up the channels by hitting certain points on your body. So I do that for energy shifting, and that can be shifting from a limiting belief into a new belief. It can be shifting a shitty mood into a really good mood. It can be just shifting into my next level self. You can tap on so many different things, and it's amazing for that. So think of tapping as your energy shifter. So the order I kind of like to go in my morning routine is like doing the journaling, mind dump, reset our minds, do a tapping, move some energy around, and then typically I like go into another energy shifting activity, which would be exercise. This is one of my rituals, to work out, literally to sweat. So there's two reasons. One, exercise is just a great form of movement, and like I said, it's all about moving the energy around, moving the energy that's in your body. We don't want any stagnant vibes going on, so that's really important to me. And then the second piece of the exercise part is that we are sweating when we work out, and water is the element of emotion. So when you're sweating, you're literally getting rid of emotion that's stuck in your body. So think about how powerful that is. You did the journaling, you got all of the feelings out of your head, you chose what you wanted to shift into, you did your limiting belief eradication, whatever that process is, you did your tapping, you tapped in the new vibes, and then you get to sweat, feel amazing because of the endorphins you just got, and also sweat out the things that don't serve you. Okay, so that is the third one. And the fourth one that I do almost every single day is a meditation. Now I know some of my clients are like OG meditation gurus, like my client Krista. She just started a home meditation company. It's called Boss Babe Meditations. She's on YouTube. She is like an OG meditation gal. I'm an OG journal gal. So for me, my meditation practice is more at night. I love sleep meditations, and my favorites on YouTube are Michael Seeley. I like Doxy meditations, and now Krista is going to be doing a bunch of meditations, which will be at Boss Babe Meditations. I love doing that. And for me, the meditation side of things isn't so much for the energy moving, not so much for the clearing, it's more for the vibration. Okay, I love meditations because a lot of times there is binaural beats in the background. There's subliminal messages. There's a lot of programming, positive programming that's being done in meditations, and it's literally putting frequencies into your head through what you are hearing, and that's really powerful. So I like this to match certain vibrations. There are meditations for everything: love, success, wealth, your healthiest body. I like sleep hypnoses. Those are amazing as well. And so when you stack all of these, you have to think about it. Okay, so we did our, sorry, my computer is my light right now and it keeps going off. This is how we stack our ritual. We do our journaling, we get everything down, we mind dump onto paper. We do our tapping, we clear the energy, we exercise, we clear further, we feel really good. And at the very end of the day, we're really going to be matching these next level vibes by doing a sleep meditation, or you can do a normal meditation. It's all about the vibration. So I guess a bonus on that would be visualization, which is another ritual I wanted to talk about. Visualizing is a huge way of creative manifestation in my life. Visualizing the result, visualizing the day that I've received the thing, it has brought me so much into my life. Honestly, I should visualize more. That's how powerful it's been. And that's just another form of meeting the vibration, because when you imagine yourself, like with people in the Olympics, like Olympic computers or Olympic athletes, they visualize themselves winning. They visualize, you know, being the first place swimmer. They visualize all of the things, and you feel so fucking good. I visualized my Tesla so many times before I got my car, and it just makes you feel good. That's all about the vibration that you start to align to when you're doing this on a consistent basis. So those are ones that I do every day. So let's go over our list so far. Breathing is kind of a moment to moment thing. Breathing is like when I'm really stressed out, I'll take those deep breaths. Breath work I just do with my facilitator, so that's every once in a while. What else we have? And then we have our core ones, which are journaling, tapping, exercise, meditation, visualization. Visualization isn't something, like I said, isn't something I do super often, but I should do a lot more because it's so freaking powerful. Now I want to get into two really simple ones that I do every single day, but I don't think about as much because they're just kind of a part of my life. So one is going to be crystals, and this is another thing that has to do with the vibes, like matching the vibration of your desires. So crystals, they each have their own little purpose that's based off of the frequency that they give off. It's not just like random, you know, characteristics assigned to them. It's literally the frequency they're vibrating at. So this one I'm holding right now is an amethyst, and an amethyst meets the frequency and vibration of calmness. So if you actually have anxiety or depression, it's really helpful to sleep with amethyst because it helps calm you. It's also a really good crystal for spiritual connection. So when I'm teaching my conscious creator course all about consciousness, I'm holding this near and dear to me because it helps you channel, it gets you connected in. So this is something I do frequently. You guys know I have my little altar. I have so many crystals over here, like I can't even grab all of them because I have so many, but they each have their own frequency and vibration. So it's just another thing I use to bring into my life what I'm desiring or what I'm manifesting. Like on my money altar, I have a bunch of crystals that are for attracting abundance on top of things. So it's just another layer of vibes, which is a really simple and subtle one, and that's why I recommend it to so many people. Like just have a crystal or two around, and you know, you can just grab them. I always talk with them in my hands. If you see me on a live stream, a lot of times these videos, I'm always moving it back and forth. It's just such a good way to bring up the vibes. Another really simple one are my oracle cards and my tarot cards. You guys have seen me pull so many times, and these rituals are more for guidance and confirmations. So when I pull a card, it's usually for like, what's the vibe of the day? What do I need to step into? What do I need to release? Sometimes I will feel like I want to do some heavy shadow work, so I'll pull a card and say, what do I need to release? What do I need to work through today? And I will go through all of that based off of what the card says, or I'll ask a question and I pull a card for guidance. It's a form of spiritual connection for me, and also a ritual. Just the idea of pulling a card every day to see what's the vibration today, what am I stepping into today, is just a beautiful process to connect you in. And the last one I want to talk about today is a little weird one, which is why I'm leaving it for last, and it's yelling. Yep, literally yelling. I do this very, very often. If you spend a lot of time with me in person, like a lot of time, I will grab things like pillows and I will yell into pillows. When I'm in the car, I will roll down my window and like scream out the window, and I probably look like a complete fucking weirdo. Or I will just make random noises. Like I might just be walking around my apartment and be like, ah! Like something weird like that. And I actually do this as a ritual. Like there's a reason why I do weird shit like this, and it's because sometimes there are emotions emotions and energy that's stuck in your body, that you've tried to do the clearing, you've done the tapping, you've done the meditation, and you still don't feel right. That energy is trapped some way, somehow. And it's your job to eradicate that from your body if it doesn't serve you. And so for me, I've found that sometimes voicing that energy really helps to get it out. When you just pull it out and you just yell, you just scream, you make the weird noise, you just sing your favorite song extra loud and extra obnoxious just to get the energy out. It is so helpful, you guys. Yes, you will look crazy. Like, everybody looks at me like I'm crazy when I do it, and everybody makes fun of me for it, but it definitely moves my energy and it helps a lot. So if you find that you're doing lots of rituals like the ones I've talked about today, but you still can't like really get the energy out, try voicing the energy. Sometimes it just wants a voice and wants to be heard, and that's okay. Just give it that space and usually it'll dissipate right afterwards. So those are all of like my typical rituals. Obviously I have so many more, but if we talk about every single one, we will be on this video for like 30 minutes. So those are my top ones and why I do them. Let's go through the list one more time. Breathing, breath work, journaling, tapping, exercise, meditation, visualization, oracle cards, tarot cards, crystals, and yelling. So you guys have a really great list to pick from. Maybe you found out something new today that you can add to your ritual list. And I hope this helps you. There are so many rituals online. There's a lot of spiritual people, there's a lot of witches, there's a lot of rituals and things you can do. So I found that when my client asked this today, I was like, wow, that's such a good point to bring up of how does this change, how is this differentiating from a journaling prompt, or how is this different from a meditation, or how is crystals any different from binaural beats, or, you know, for me, each kind of have their own purpose, and there's a lot that are like energy shifting for me and a lot that are vibes, and that way I can pick and choose when I'm feeling into that day. But I like having different purposes for each one and how they serve me in different ways. And from doing this, I've really found like my whole life has turned into like this ritualistic experience. Like my whole day feels like a fucking ritual at this point. So I hope you guys loved this. If you have any other rituals that you guys like, I would love to hear them in the comments. If there are rituals you want me to go into deeper about, definitely leave it in the comments below. Subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and I will see you tomorrow.